one and all, to this festival of poetry, jointly organized by Lua and Moндштадте.
Or, in full, the neighboring nation's congenial poetry gala. We're your hosts, Liyue's verse-monger of the darkest alleys, Hutao.
And Mondstadte's liquor-loving lyricist, Venti the Bard. The purpose of this event is to promote friendly poetic exchanges between our two nations. So please, have fun, talk to other people, and make some new friends.
If you're here, you're our guest, so please enjoy this poetry fest.
I'd also like to reassure everyone that this event welcomes people of all skill levels, from first-time rhymers to seasoned songwriters. If you ask me, the most important thing you can bring to writing poetry is authenticity. That means reaching deep down to all the thoughts and feelings you usually hide away or struggle to express, and putting them into words, just right from the heart in whatever form you like.
To help everyone really cut loose and enjoy themselves to the fullest, Venti and I have carefully prepared 3 themes to be revealed over the course of 3 days. Let's get right to it. The first theme is Riddle Me This.
Solving riddles, huh? Interesting. It's actually a pretty good choice for a warm-up activity.
Whew. I'm glad they're not making us write sonnets or something right at the start.
Does everyone see the lanterns hanging around the venue? These have been specially prepared for the riddle game. Simply write down your riddle and hang it on a lantern. Then Venti and I will select a few to pose to the crowd, and you will try to solve them. We'll now give you some time to write down and hang up your riddles. Feel free to walk around and talk with the other contestants to get the creative juices flowing. And remember, whoever guesses the most riddles correctly will get a prize.
And with that, the neighboring nation's congenial poetry gala has officially begun.
You two?
Oh? Hi, Paimon. You know, for a moment there, I was worried I might lose to you.
Oh, are you collecting your prize right now?
I am indeed. Though, if you really want it, I'd be more than happy to give it to you.
Seriously? Wow, what is it?
A most generous donation by yours truly as director of the Wangsheng Funeral Parlor. Namely, a buy one, get one free coupon for our high-end customized service package. It's a pleasant surprise to learn you're so interested in it, Paimon.
Nope, nuh-uh, no thank you, hard pass, you can keep it.
Are you sure? In that case, I'll gladly take it.
Here you are. Now remember, this package comes with our anytime, anywhere, on-demand collection service. Just give us a call and we'll be right there. With any luck, we'll still show up even if you're unable to call.
So, to what do we owe the honor, Paimon?
What do you mean we? Chanyun's the one Paimon's looking for, not you. Wasn't he saying something about needing help?
Oh, yeah. That.
How about I put it in riddle form?
Huh? Isn't the competition over?
'Twas like a demon not demonic, or devil devoid of the diabolic. Afar it floated free above the ground, but when approached, though sought, naught could be found.
Sounds to me like you encountered a ghastly little ghostie in the wild.
Perhaps I should just explain it. Basically, while I was training this morning, I suddenly caught sight of a non-human entity. It was floating in the air without any kind of external aid, and its body was almost transparent. At first I thought I'd finally encountered a demon that wasn't repelled by my pure yang spirit, and immediately prepared to exorcise it. But none of my methods had any effect on it. And when I went to try and get a closer look at it and tried to ascertain what I was dealing with, it disappeared into thin air.
You're sure it's not a ghost or spirit of some kind?
Quite sure. I could sense that it had a physical body, And if it were a spirit, I'm sure it would have been scared away long before I saw it. It's all my fault. I got overexcited, and in my haste, I didn't ascertain its true nature before taking action. Thinking back on it, if it wasn't an evil spirit, maybe I offended some kind of adeptus, or illuminated beast.
You shouldn't blame yourself. It was something you'd never seen before. Anyone else would have reacted the same way. Besides, we're making up for it now by doing our best to find out the truth.
Any thoughts, Venti? Have you managed to untangle Chongyun's twisted tail?
Why don't you take a guess first, Tutao?
Oh, that means you have.
I can't be absolutely certain, but I'm reasonably sure it's not what Liyue would call an evil spirit or demon. So whatever it is, it's not dangerous. How about this? We can incorporate a search element into tomorrow's poetry activity.
Oh, does that mean we get to play outside while we write poetry?
Close, but no. Good ideas could just pop into your head out of thin air, but if you ask me, everyone should relax tonight and get a good rest before tomorrow.
You say that, but your gaze keeps drifting over towards the wine stand. Wow, everyone got here so early.
The sun is shining bright today. As soon as that leaf floats past Stonegate, we shall reveal today's poetry theme.
The theme of the second day of the neighboring nation's congenial poetry gala is... pairing couplets!
Pairing couplets? Oh, I've heard of that. It's a Liyue art form where you have to create new lines of poetry based on fixed rules. Kind of like a fill-in-the-blanks game, but for poetry.
Heaven and earth, rain and wind, the endless sky and the boundless land, forest borers and ocean shrimp, lavender melons and matsutake shrooms. Based on a given line of poetry, you must create the second line to form a pair, or couplet. As long as you take inspiration from the wide world around you, you'll find it's not so difficult after all. The two lines should be neatly matched, complementing each other both semantically and rhythmically. In essence, it's just like most other forms of poetry.
To buoy your imaginations and allow the winds of inspiration to fill your sails, we've added an additional component, an inspiration walk.
An inspiration walk?
By inspiration walk, we simply mean wandering around in the wild, taking in the scenery and pocketing any poetic thoughts. Of course, to all our friends, old and new, please be careful while out and about. Wangsheng Funeral Parlor is already fully booked for the month ahead, and if there's any more demand, I'll be the only one with a smile on my face.
In short, please roam freely as the mood takes you. Enjoy the spectacular scenery of our two beautiful nations, and fill your imaginations with the most pleasing of poetry. We will all reconvene here tonight. So, we hope that each of you can keep an eye out for this while you're out on your inspiration walk.
Are you sure this is okay? It was just something I ran into, and now we're imposing my business on everyone else.
Oh, please don't say that, Mr. Chongyun. Master Jean ordered us to work with you however we can to improve cooperation. Helping each other out is exactly what we're here for.
Besides, investigating any strange occurrences near Mondstadt and making a report to the Knights of Avonius is also part of our job.
I don't mind either, because while we're out, I can look for new cocktail ingredients too.
The way I see it, you should just humbly accept their willingness to help.
All right. In that case, thank you all very much. I will be sure to repay your kindness someday.
Now, how about we split into two groups for the day?
You mean to cover more ground?
Not just that. Don't forget, this is still part of the Poetry Gala. If we all see the same sights and sounds during our inspiration walk, how can we write unique poems?
That's true. But how do we decide who goes in which group?
Why don't we draw lots?
Yeah! That'll make things even more fun!
Drawing lots? But what if I end up with the Liyue crowd, and I can't think of anything to say to them?
I've got the slips of paper here. Who wants to go first?
Oh, Paimon! Paimon wants to go first!
Okay, so that's the Traveler, Paimon, Diona and Chongyun in one group, and Xingqiu, Mika, and Noelle in the other.
What a relief. At least I'll have Noelle with me.
Then I humbly place myself at your instruction.
Oh, I don't think... that won't be...
I also await your guidance.
Take care, everyone. See you all tonight.
Wow. Are those ears and tail real? So fluffy. Alright. Miss Diona, is there some place in particular you would like to go?
Just call me Diona. Since we're trying to find that thing you saw, why don't we start with the place you saw it last time?
Right over there, next to the water. That's where I saw it.
Upstream, upstream, up we go! Oh, did you think of what to write yet? Ooh, great! Now give it here, and Paimon will toss it into the water!
Things you never had the chance to say before it was too late. When silence is the final word, we mourn the loss of things unheard. I have little talent for, nor knowledge of poetry.
The leaf's in the water! Look, it's like a little boat! Merrily, merrily down the stream, life is but a dream.
First team is back, right on schedule.
Huh? The others have yet to return?
Come on, let's hurry!
We're not too late, are we?
Just how far did you all go?
Everyone catch your breath. Come on, deep breaths. 1, 2. Now, don't panic. The party hasn't started yet.
We made it! Oh, Paimon's exhausted. Paimon gets tired if she has to fly too fast. Oh, not to mention dropping all those leaves. Paimon's hands are cramping up. Sounds like someone needs to exercise more. Huh? You guys picked up a new teammate while you were out?
Indeed. This is Kalliroi. I believe you'll remember her from yesterday, though you weren't introduced.
Hi, everyone. Now that we've all regrouped, let's... Scratch that. Looks like we're still waiting on my co-host.
They say roosters crow at first light, and finches go to bed at night. But Director Hu Tao's always on the ball. Anytime, anywhere, she'll answer your call.
Are the theatrics really necessary? We're already on day 2 of the festival. The opening ceremony is over.
But my dear, dear Paimon, it seems you are not yet aware. That was not for my own sake, but for a special guest who's joining us today.
Director Hu's manner is as exuberant as ever. It always makes quite an impression.
Boy, now this is a surprise.
Mr. Zhongli, I hope you are well.
Xingqiu, what can you tell me about Mr. Zhongli? He seems like somebody very important.
Yes, he's held in very high regard in Liyue Harbor. He's extremely erudite in many different domains of knowledge.
Allow me to introduce you all to Zhongli, a consultant at the Wangsheng Funeral Parlor. His expertise is limitless, stretching from the celestial orbs to the terrestrial ores, spanning modern and ancient culture, delving into literature both prosaic and poetic. He may be my subordinate, but he is certainly a qualified poetry expert, and so we have invited him here tonight to judge the compositions.
The director exaggerates. I am but vaguely acquainted with a few lines of classical poetry. Should you consider me to be remiss in my appraisal of your own compositions, please correct me.
Yeah, enough with the modesty already. If I didn't know better, I'd say you seemed nervous. Just focus on judging.
Please rest assured that I shall rise to the occasion, Director.
Let me do a quick count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great! Equal numbers on both sides. With our Fontaine friend present, perhaps we should rename this event to the Three Nations Congenial Poetry Gala. Well, how about this? I'll join in as well. Director Hutao, here to help out in your hour of greatest need. What does everyone think?
Naturally, the more the merrier. Being the host of the festival shouldn't stop you from having the chance to enjoy it like the rest of us.
Then, it's settled. Everyone else in the audience, feel free to join in too and support your favorite team.
What about me? Shall I keep track of the score?
No need for that. The teams are just a formality. We're all friends here, and this isn't intended to be competitive. But what do you think, Judge Zhongli?
I concur, Director. Moreover, it would be disingenuous to impose upon our friends from Mondstadt and Fontaine a competition in which they are judged on how rigorously they can adhere to Liyue poetic conventions. Since this is a congenial poetry gala, should we not begin with inspiration and finish with friendly conversation? The aim being for all participants to enjoy themselves.
That's a relief. I was so nervous about this, but it sounds like it's gonna be pretty relaxed.
Couldn't have asked for a better judge. Zhongli said everything I was supposed to say, only far more eloquently. So, without further ado, I shall pass the baton to Venti.
No problem. Friends old and new, put on your thinking caps and take a deep breath of fresh air. The second stage of our poetry gala will now commence. Matching couplets.
Paimon's so happy! Paimon managed to match a bunch of couplets at the end. You did hear them all, right?
I really enjoyed myself too. Oh, I never knew Liyue's couplet poetry was so much fun.
You were amazing today, Noelle. You did so many couplets. Paimon especially liked your one about reading Heart of Clear Springs. Paimon never could have thought of that.
Miss Kalliroi, are you okay? You look like you're getting tired.
Don't worry, I'm fine. Thanks for asking. Although, I do have a question I'd like to ask. Have all of you read Heart of Clear Springs?
I haven't actually read it.
My dad told me the story once. It's about a spring fairy and a young boy.
Oh yes, the story of a spring fairy who left her homeland and met a boy under the moonlight in a faraway land. The boy poured out his heart to her, and she listened to his stories. Over time, the boy grew up and began to develop feelings for the spring fairy. But the spring fairy didn't understand human love and was afraid that making a promise to him would ultimately end in tragedy. And so, I don't know if Diona's father mentioned the part about the kiss to her.
In the end, the spring fairy left the boy and was never heard from again.
Ah, yes, that's it. Many years went by, and the boy became an old man. But he never stopped believing that the fairy was real, and not just a dream.
Sounds like a tragic tale.
So, what do you guys think of the spring fairy in the story?
I'm sure she made her decision with the best of intentions, but the boy couldn't hope to understand why she left. It's a shame that the misunderstanding never got cleared up.
Well, do you think she should go back and see that boy again, if she ever had another chance?
Now? But isn't he an old man by the end of the story?
Isn't it a bit late? What if it just led to more regrets? Oh, sorry. Oh, maybe I'm being too pessimistic.
If Paimon was that boy... Actually, Paimon would definitely want to see the Spring Fairy again, no matter how old Paimon got. After all, she's the love of his life, right?
I see.
Oh? Looks like the party's still going strong over here. Are you coming up with more couplets? Need my help?
Stick to hosting, Tone Deaf Bard. If you get involved, you'll only match every couplet yourself and not leave any for the rest of us.
I never knew you had such a high opinion of my abilities, Paimon. But the couplet games are all over now. Tomorrow's theme is freestyle poetry.
Do we have to share our own poems with everyone?
That's right. If you're not feeling confident, don't worry. It's never too late to register for Venti's Poetry Cram class.
I'll sign up.
Oh, me too.
Hold on there, Buster. Before you start peddling your classes, just how much freedom is there with this freestyle poetry exactly? Aren't there any requirements at all?
It's as free as the winds that blow, and there's nothing freer. There are no limits to genre, form, content, or anything else. So long as it comes from the heart, you're welcome to put it into poetry. Give it a try. There's no better chance to express your innermost thoughts.
Whoa, that's almost too much freedom. Paimon can't decide which way to go. Our travels, or maybe all the food that the travelers cooked for Paimon. Will you come too, Kalliroi? Paimon wants to see what you write.
Oh, yes. I'll be there.
Ugh, my nose is starting to itch again. All right, I shall leave you to privately ponder your poems and bid you all good night. See you tomorrow.
Huh? Looks like we're a few people short today.
Morning, friends. Singcho said he wants to take some time and focus on writing poems, so he'll join us later.
Noelle has other duties today, so she asked me to tell everyone not to wait up for her.
Okay, well, never mind. What about Kalliroi, though? She said she'd be here. I got here really early, but I haven't seen her yet.
Are you talking about the girl with the blue hair? I saw her on the bridge near Dihua Marsh during my morning training. She looked a little upset, so I didn't want to disturb her.
Upset? Oh no, what should we do? Was it something we said last night?
I agree. If she's run into some kind of trouble, I'd like to help her.
Huh? You're all going? Then I'm coming too.
Shall we start with the bridge? We're all here a little early, so there should be time.
Good idea. We'll be back in a jiffy.
Oh, so this is the place? We ran into her here yesterday too. She looked like something was weighing on her mind then as well.
It's also not far from where we were dropping those leaves.
Huh. Leaves? Interesting. I wonder, could Miss Kalliroi have been the one who wrote that poem on the leaf?
What makes you say that?
Oh, sorry. Nothing. Well, nothing concrete. Just a hunch, I guess. It's just, that poem on the leaf kinda gave me the same feeling as when I saw her yesterday.
Now that you mention it, this is upstream from where we found the poem.
Huh? Hey, look! Over there! Another leaf! Wow, you're right! And this one has writing on it too! After that leaf! Can't you just fly over and grab it? But Paimon can't swim! What if Paimon accidentally falls into the water?
Are the words still legible, or have they been washed out?
Looks like the ink's intact. Let Paimon take a look at what it says. Huh? This is related to the poem we wrote in reply yesterday. She must have picked up one of our leaves. Spring. Young boy. It's looking a lot like Kalliroi was the one who wrote this.
She seems to care a lot about that story, huh?
Actually, when Paimon first saw her, Paimon was... Do you think... Is it possible that... she's...
Based on the current and accounting for wind strength... Everyone, please follow me.
Kalliroi, are you okay? What's that? It's a huge water droplet.
This is exactly what I saw the other day.
Huh? Why are you all looking at me like that? Oh no! My body... Is it...
That voice is definitely Kalliroi's.
How did this happen? Please wait a moment. Oh no. Did I use up too much energy?
How did you... What's going on here? Miss Kalliroi, are you some kind of adeptus?
No. I'm so sorry for deceiving you all for so long. Actually, I'm an Oceanid who flowed here from Fontaine long ago.
What's an Oceanid?
Ah, the Grandmaster has mentioned them before. The Oceanids were the familiars of the former Hydro Archon. They all fled Fontaine after the Archon died and settled across the world.
That's correct. Though, to tell you the truth, I can't even completely recall how I found myself here. I have a vague impression of my ancestral home, but I can't recall clearly anything I saw on my journey. All I know is that by the time I arrived in Mondstadt, I had lost most of my power and couldn't even sustain a physical form. Eventually, I settled in a place called Springvale, where I slowly began to regain my power. Springvale is a serene and beautiful place. The water that flows through there is clear and pure, just like the hearts of the people who dwell there.
So you're the Spring Fairy of Springvale?
Yes, Diona, and I remember you too, you know. When you were little, you often came to the spring at night to speak with me.
Really? You're not messing with me, are ya?
I always thought that was just a local legend.
Your favorite little pillow, the fish one? Its name is Bubbles, is it not?
Yup!
All those childhood memories. So they weren't just a dream.
So, if this is true, then all those things written on the leaves...
I see. So you were the ones who found my leaf. Well, you are correct. The Spring Fairy and Heart of Clear Springs is me.
No wonder you were asking us so many questions about it. So, the boy from the story...
is Finch. I always loved listening to people's dreams, and still do to this day. Whether they're beautiful, sad, or filled with emotions I couldn't understand at the time. One night, a little boy came to the spring. The tears that fell from his face were more fragile than a moonbeam, and purer than the morning dew. I like humans, and wanted to understand them better. I also wanted to make sense of the feelings contained in his tears that were, then, a mystery to me. Yes, we often met under the stars, sharing our stories with one another. Sometimes, we'd stay up all night and see who would hear the first bird chirping from the boughs,
or the first cicada of summer.
Aw, that sounds lovely.
But one day, just like the book says, I saw an emotion in Finch's eyes that I couldn't reciprocate. I felt out of my depth, in uncharted waters. But I knew all too well that we Lockfolk face a very different fate from that of humans. Whatever was happening, I didn't want it to lead to Finch writing a chapter of his life that he would later come to regret. So, I fled, and never appeared before him again.
Oh, Kalliroi.
My strength returns very slowly, and even after decades, I can only sustain a physical form for a very short time. I once hoped that Finch would be able to move on, and meet me when the stars in the night sky have all gone out. But after seeing so many people's stories, and hearing about all their dreams, I have gradually come to understand Finch's heart. This feeling of wanting to respond to his feelings is surging relentlessly in my chest, and I can no longer restrain it. But I'm also scared. Scared that if I go and see him now, I'll bring nothing but disappointment, and even more pain when it comes time to part.
Oh.
It really is a difficult choice.
Please go see him.
Huh?
I know Grandpa Finch, and he's a really kind person. When I was struggling to learn how to draw maps, he was always encouraging me, telling me not to give up, always keep trying, and get out there and have some adventures. He often tells me stories about his past, but I've never once seen a look of regret or sadness in his face. And even though Grandpa Finch loves adventures, he still stands there by the spring, every day, as if he's waiting for something. I believe that he's serious about his feelings for you, Miss Kalliroi. He's never stopped hoping that he'll see you again one day. So if you want to see him too, then what are you waiting for? Huh? Oh, sorry. I think I got a bit too excited and I just thought... Well, it just sort of came out.
I understand. That settles it. I've decided. I will go back and see Finch.
You will? Amazing! That's great!
But I'd like to ask all of you for some help.
Sure. Just say the word. We'll help you any way we can.
Would you come to Springvale with me and help to bring Finch to my side? I cannot maintain this form for much longer, and I'm worried others will see me how I was just before.
Leave it to me. I'm really close with Grandpa Finch.
Also, please keep Finch's in my secret. I wouldn't want Springvale's tranquil waters to become agitated on account of all this.
Your secret is safe with me.
I won't tell anyone. That's a promise.
Great. I can't thank you all enough.
What's wrong? Are you gonna turn back into a water droplet?
No, I'm sorry. It's just that my mind's racing. As much as I want to talk to him again, I'm still worried that I won't have the words when the time comes. Poem? Okay, good idea. I'll write him a poem. And it will be called Heart of Clear Springs.
Are you okay?
It's nothing. I'm just scared that I won't be able to maintain this form much longer.
Okay, don't panic. Wait here, Kalliroi. I'll go fetch Grandpa Finch.
Take it slow, Diona. Finch isn't a young man anymore. He's not as steady on his feet. I can still hold on a bit longer.
Okay, stay strong. You can do it. Grandma Finch!
Is that Diona? You're back early today.
Today's your special day, Grandma Finch. Can you come with me?
Oh? Well, where are we going?
Over there, to the waterfall.
Did you catch a nice little fishy?
Just come with me already. This is extremely important.
But I promised your father that I'd go to the...
Grandma Finch!
All right. All right. No need to get worked up. I'm right behind you.
That's more like it. Now come on.
Draft's daughter is just like him when she's on a mission.
Over here! Over here! It's okay, Grandpa Finch. Take your time.
What's all this? What are all these people doing here? Even Mika's here? How's work been going lately? And even some friends from abroad, if I'm not mistaken. You do know that today's not my birthday, don't you?
Greetings, Mr. Finch. My name is Chong-Yoon. We all met at the poetry gala, and... well, there's someone we'd like to introduce you to.
Finch.
That voice. Kalliroi.
I didn't think you'd still remember.
Oh, I remember. I remember all right. How could I ever forget? Although your appearance is different than I recall. Back then, you looked like you'd stepped right out of a fairy tale. But I'm one to talk. Of course a fairy from a fairy tale can change forms. But in your eyes, I'm probably the one who's changed beyond all recognition.
Oh, even after all these years, you still know just what to say to make me laugh.
I thought you were only able to appear in the dead of night. There have been times when I've wondered whether it really was all a dream.
I'm sorry I kept you waiting for so long, Finch.
Oh, it can't have been that long. It's been but the blink of an eye, really.
Finch, would you like to hear a poem I wrote for you?
A poem? You write poetry now? Well, of course. I'd be delighted to listen. I'll hang on every word that leaves your lips.
In that case, let me read you a story about the Spring Fairy. Far from my native land I roamed. In streams I slept, many seasons I met as the sun set and rose. I searched for a garden to call a home, and the moonlight ebbed as the water flowed. A soft breeze beckoned me unto a spring. Sleep, weary wanderer, your journey is over. May the dancing petals sweeten your slumber. At dawn, I hummed the melody of a distant stream, and the songs in the night serenaded my dreams. A boy's tender tears trembled through the water.
stirring me more than any starlight sonata. He wove me a wreath from past petals and future buds. I crossed beyond the veil of dreams to the realm of flesh and blood. Look at the love that shines from his eager gaze. Answer the call of his heart, lest this moment go to waste. The kittens and fireflies invited my heartstrings to sing, but I was a stranger to the melody of mankind, and knew not how this tune should begin. As the river of dreams trickled into the ocean blue, every time a crystal fly flapped its wings, older it seemed he grew. But I learned to fathom human ways each stumbling step I took, and clouds of confusion became crystal clear in the vulnerable verse I wrote. As seed yearns for soil and trees for the sun, a once foreign melody inside my heart sung, and it cried out your name on every string it could strum. Now I give my dream to you. May it be in your slumber a sweet spring to quench your thirst. Now, I hand my heart to you, praying my belated promise might meet, still with your trust.
Yes. This is how I remember you from when we first met. All those years ago. It really has been a long, old time, hasn't it?
Finch,
It's okay. I understand. Your poem, it explains everything.
Thank you, Finch. Please, take this.
It's so beautiful.
This is a droplet of water condensed from my own power. Finch, I don't have a physical form like humans, and I can't stay by your side. I don't know how long it'll be before I can change back into human form again. But as long as this droplet remains with you, our hearts will always be connected, no matter the distance between us. I will always be one with the spring. From this day onwards, if you call me, I will meet you in your dreams.
It's so romantic!
You've really learned a lot, haven't you? And you don't even mind that the kids are watching.
Does it bother you?
How could it possibly? This is the happiest moment of my life. I just worry that once I go to sleep, I won't ever want to wake up again.
Huh? Don't say that.
I'm only joking. It seems that you still have much to learn.
Is that right?
Grandpa Finch and Kalliroi look so happy. Oh, what a perfect moment.
Diona, thank you for fetching Finch for me. I've never forgotten you either.
I used to chat with you a lot. Wasn't it ever annoying?
Of course not. You are one of the truest friends I have in the entire world. That's why I gave you your gift, so that a part of me could always be with you.
Huh?
Wait. So is Diona's ability to mix delicious drinks from disgusting ingredients a blessing from this water spirit? And if so, is it also possible that my pure yang spirit is a gift from some being?
My physical form is about to disappear. Finch,
Yes?
I've never regretted meeting you or deciding to talk to you that night. Not once. All these long years. Not for a single moment.
It probably goes without saying, but neither have I.
Although it was different from in the stories. That fateful night, I never gave you that kiss. This gift that represents my promise and my love.
It's okay, everyone. She's gone now.
What? But Paimon didn't get a chance to say goodbye. Grandpa Finch?
Don't worry now. She hasn't gone far. Just like she said, she'll always be one with the spring, by our side and in our dreams.
Oh? Hey, you're all back! And it looks like you're in much better spirits than before. Hu Tao's a step ahead. She's already talking about printing a poetry anthology. She said she can't wait for everyone's final words because I'm itching to pull the trigger. By which I assume she meant she eagerly anticipates receiving everyone's freestyle poetry submissions to help her close the deal.
Where have you all been? I've been waiting here forever.
Perhaps they lacked sufficient inspiration and wished to have an emergency communion with nature. And with any luck, I'll bet they heard some fine poetry along the way.
Code Death Bard! Does this mean that right from the start you... Oh, right from the start, you said you would treat us to a nice meal!
Huh? Did I? Very well. Since the Traveler agrees, then it looks like I can't escape this time. Diona! Dear Diona, could I trouble you to fix us a couple of your delicious beverages?
You wish. All right. Well, normally I'd never agree, but since I happen to be in a good mood today...
Huh? So, just what have you guys been up to all this time? Why does it feel like there are some unspoken words hanging in the air here that everyone is privy to but myself?
Really? Must be the breeze. You're reading way too much into it.
Yeah, that's right. We're just, taking a walk. Inspiration walk, since it worked so well last time.
So even Mika's in on it? Chongyun, how about you tell me what happened on the sly? I've just remembered that I heard about a haunted house recently that you'll definitely want to check out. I'm willing to bet that even your pure Yang spirit won't be able to scare off these demons.
I appreciate the gesture, but no thanks. And I'm starting to think that maybe this pure Yang spirit isn't such a bad thing after all.
Huh? What the? What's gotten into you? Okay, that confirms it. I call shenanigans. Something big definitely went down here.